How to make your mind a money magnet. The Secret of Never-Ending Cash Flow by Dr. Robert Anthony. The natural abundance of the universe. Since the beginning of time, philosophers, visionaries, and great spiritual leaders have talked about the natural abundance of the universe. The difference between being aware of our natural abundance and owning a hefty portion of it is one of the main lessons we come to this earth to learn. We live in a three-dimensional world that reflects back to us the energy, words, feelings, and thoughts we put out. Unfortunately, when we come to this planet, we are not well versed in how to manifest our desires, so it takes us time to learn it, but that in itself is a great blessing. Imagine a world where everything you thought, felt, or said suddenly and immediately appeared in front of you. Sure, you could materialize $1 million on the kitchen table in 30 seconds flat. But each time you had a thought of fear or worry about anything, you would also have a monster standing up against the refrigerator trying to eat your lunch. We come into this three-dimensional world with a special blessing of protection that allows us to have thoughts and feelings that don't instantly materialize in front of our eyes as they do in the non-physical dimension. So, the fact that you can't materialize money by just thinking about it may seem to be a hindrance, but it's also part of a greater protection that allows you to learn the art of manifestation without getting hurt in the process. Chapter 1. Rich is your natural state. Our natural state is to be rich. The things that get in our way of becoming rich are feelings of unworthiness, lack, despair, and confusion, and the inability to master the marketplace of life. This aspect is extremely important, so I will discuss it in detail in a few minutes. The secret behind all this is something you may already know, namely that life is energy, money is energy, and there are plenty of both. Perhaps it sounds a bit silly, but you ought to begin every day by telling yourself that there is no shortage of money. In fact, there are untold trillions of dollars, yen, pounds, euros, rupees, and so on, swishing about in cyberspace more than you could ever spend. We have been programmed by the system to believe that there are shortages and lack, and that financial uncertainty is normal. It is not. That idea is a psychological mechanism designed by those who have vested interest in controlling people and keeping them in line by making them fearful. Don't buy it. Most people suffering from a limited mindset have no comprehension of just how much money there is actually available to anyone with a will to step up and collect it. However, because we are taught to fear power, it is naturally assumed that the very rich could only become that way by being dishonest and crooked, and that they feed upon little people. While the economic forces of our planet are certainly stacked in favor of the big institutions and governments, there is nothing stopping each one of us from having our fair share. Chapter 2. Money and greed are not the same thing. Yet, it is very difficult to attract money if you have any negative thoughts about it. But once you come to an understanding that money is neutral, that wealth is neutral, and even spiritual, it's easy to see that when you have money, it does not deprive somebody else. In fact, if you are wealthy, more often than not, you will be disposing of your money commercially, buying products and services, and charitably supporting people around you. In doing that, you're actually adding to the overall flow of wealth to everyone on the planet. There are trillions of dollars zipping about electronically on any given day. Those electronic signals are literally passing through your body right now, as are all the TV and radio signals that are in your local area. Here is something you can do right now. Take a moment and think about the billions of dollars electronically flowing through your hands at the moment. Now, imagine making a slight flick of your wrist in order to halt some of that loot that's in transit so it sticks in the palm of your hand. Can you actually do this? Yes, because a flick of the mind is faster than a flick of the wrist. We're going to talk about how you can do this in a few minutes. It is important to understand that money is good, greed is not good. However, there is no reason why you can't be rich, why you can't be very rich, stinking rich, in fact, and still be an extremely spiritual and wonderfully generous person aligned to source energy, with a huge heart and compassion for everyone you meet. Chapter 3. Why some people are rich and others aren't. One of the inner concepts we have to grasp is the basic principle behind quantum physics, that everything exists as a wave-particle duality. This is the key factor in understanding why some people are rich and others aren't. What the wave-particle duality means at a quantum level is that what we see and perceive as a solid reality is not actually solid at all. Everything, and I do mean everything, exists in an oscillation or ill-defined wave of energy. This ill-defined wave of energy remains the same unformed energy until a particle is observed, whereupon it changes from being somewhere in an ill-defined wave state to being solid and existing in a definable place. Money and our ideas around money and abundance follows the laws of quantum physics. In order for money to become part of your life, it has to go from an unformed, ill-defined wave state of ideas, dreaming, wishing, yearning, and vague maybes, into a solid state, a dollar bill, credit in your bank account, a coin in your pocket. If you can convince yourself at the very deepest level of your being that there is no lack, no unfairness, and no discrimination, and that making money isn't difficult, you suddenly open yourself to greater wealth. This is because you have collapsed your self-denial, your aversions and resentments, and you flip from the insecure, ill-defined wave state that asks, where is the rent coming from, to the solid particle state of creating more money in your life. Suddenly, you know where it's coming from because the check is in your hand. Chapter 4. Collapsing your money dysfunction. In collapsing your ill-defined way of money dysfunction, you open yourself to endless points of creating more wealth. This simple flick of the mind that we talked about earlier opens the door. Remember, all points of abundance points in our limited three-dimensional reality where money is actually delivered, where transactions take place, or solid particle states